So this morning I wanted to go to Tom and Tom's coffee shop for some morning coffee and maybe breakfast. But we got there and it turns out they don't open until 10. So had no choice but to come to Starbucks. And I mean, it's a really nice Starbucks. I guess they kind of all are. But this is the first time I've been to a Starbucks with this kind of view. That's Taal volcano. And those things in the water, I gather, are like some fish farming type of stuff. And also for like oysters and mussels. So I brought my disc golf bag with me because my plan was to leave directly from here to go to the disc golf course. But then my alarm went off to remind me to take my drugs. So back to the room, and then from there I'll be able to head out for Driftwoods Action Park. And it's a small 9-hole course according to UDisc, but we'll see once we get there. So breakfast this morning is a Spam breakfast, and the other thing here is a flatbread sausage and bacon thing, and to drink we have the latte, and we have a great view. Of course, since it's first thing in the morning, the sun's kind of in my face, so that's why I'm kind of hiding behind this thing here. But yeah, it's a really great view. I really didn't want to come to Starbucks. I wanted to try a local thing, which is Tom and Tom's. But it's a coffee shop that doesn't even open until 10 in the morning. What's up with that? So I'm eating. think we have to go to the office. I think. Oh, the guy's waving over there.
Opisina nyo. Opisina nyo, opisina. Opisina lang. Opisina nyo.
Ay, dito po kayo pumunta sa merong radio station. Makita mo po.
Pero dito na.
Morning! Morning!
Okay, all right, at the disc golf course, here's what the area looks like. And I'm not even sure that I'm starting where I'm supposed to, but this was the only part of the ground that looked solid enough to use as a tee. And I saw the basket over there. So this is where I'm gonna start. First throw is gonna be the growler. Oh, this ground is not good. I hope I'm throwing from the tee. All right. Next, we're going with the MIDI. All right, it looks like hole 3 is longer than holes 1 and 2, at least if it starts from here, which is what I'm gonna. Oh well, so much for that drive. That was my Guadalupe. This time I'm gonna throw the Nimitz. All right, a small recap here since I already messed up with my recording. My first throw was the Guadalupe, which I pulled it to the right, hit a tree. So then I broke out the Nimitz, had a decent throw right down the middle with it, but not very far. Then I broke out the Guadalupe again, and I guess I was trying too hard because I pretty much threw it right into the ground. So now, for the remainder of this throw, I'm gonna go with the penny. Oh. Pulled it to the right, hit 2 trees and a light pole. So it was like playing pinball. But I'm just gonna throw the penny again. Yeah, that's better. So that was a bad hole. 2 over. The first 2 holes I parred, but now all of a sudden I'm 2 over. At least I think I'm 2 over. I don't think that would be a par 4. And here's a little arrow to tell me which way to go next. And in case you're wondering why I suck so bad, well, I always did suck, but for this whole year, it's now first week of December, but for this whole year, I had been struggling with my heart issues, so I wasn't really playing, and now I'm finally in a position where my heart is acting okay, and I can play again. And what better place than here? All right, I can see the basket down there, downhill, and it's to the right of where I think I'm supposed to throw from. I'm gonna try starting from way down here by the road. That was my first forehand, and I am really happy with how it flew. It did exactly what I wanted. It's a bit short, but that's okay. I'm just working on getting back to my previous form at this point, and I never was any good at forehands. All right, I'm gonna take a little break here, and I'll have some of my Nature's Spring water. And I wanted to show you this thing that I've discovered here that's way different from the States. Okay, so when you unscrew the cap, it stays attached. All right, nice. You don't have to worry about dropping your cap, which, I mean, how many hundreds of times I dropped mine, but that's a nice feature. Okay, so yesterday, my friends Kirby and Arlene gave me a ride all the way into Pasay City outside of Manila, so that I could check in with the VA. And I forgot my camera, and I missed a lot of nice filming opportunities, but I'll try to make up for it. And okay, so we went over there, and of course the worst part was the wait. And they finally got to me, and I learned these things. There are a few hospitals here in the Philippines that I can go to just free of charge because they're already associated with the VA. If I go anywhere else, she gave me this form to fill out to submit along with the certificate that they're going to give me of whatever treatment, and supposedly I'll get reimbursed for it. And that is good for not just the Philippines, but pretty much anywhere. But it has to be related to my VA disability, which should be good because I'm 100% because of my heart. So that means that I should be able to get all of my cardiology stuff taken care of on the VA's dime. Thank you for paying taxes in America. So, yeah, my cardiologist at Michael E. DeBakey VA Medical Center in Houston, Texas, told me that one of the first things I have to do here is to get myself a cardiologist. And I already looked up a guy that is the correct specialty, which is, I think they call it electro. It's something, because I have the pacemaker and everything, he has to be knowledgeable about that as well as just regular cardiology. But I did find a guy in Johor Bahru, so that should not be a problem. And then, let's see, what else? I guess that's really about it for the VA, but I'm now registered in the Philippines. I had to fill out like the same kind of form I did when I first went to the VA. And, you know, she looked me up. She already had my information because she knew about my disabilities without that being on the form. So then we came back, and I learned a lot from Kirby. I asked a lot of questions about different things. That's where I learned about the fish farms, because we could see them in the Laguna area. And he explained to me what that was all about. And that's why I'm guessing the stuff from this morning at the Starbucks is the same thing. And yeah, that was a beautiful view from the Starbucks. But Tom and Tom, why aren't y'all open? I mean, you're a coffee shop. You should be open early in the morning. 10 o'clock? That's not a coffee shop. So then, oh yeah, taking the tuk-tuk up there, the guy, I think he was kind of a rip-off artist kind of guy, because normally a ride that length is 50 pesos. And he said it was 150. He said it was 100 to Tom and Tom and then another 50 to Starbucks. So I think he was trying to rip me off. So I just gave him the 150 with no tip. And then of course, that's when, as I was having breakfast, my alarm went off to remind me to take my medications. So I had to go back to the room to get my drugs. So the tuk-tuk from the Starbucks back to Cityland, the guy asked for 80. And I still think it's supposed to be 50 for that distance. I think this was some application of the foreigners tax, because he wanted 80 instead of the normal 50. So I gave him 100, so that's a 20 tip. And then took my drugs, came back down, got another tuk-tuk, and he had to get on his radio to, I guess, clear it with the boss. He wanted 600 to go over here. And the guy yesterday, or day before yesterday rather, wanted 300 to come here. So when he said 600, I said, okay, 600, you bring me there, you wait an hour and a half, and then you bring me back. And he said, okay. And we made it like a block and a half uphill just past the college. And there was the boss standing on the corner with his radio. And here comes another tuk-tuk the other way. And we stopped right there. And there were two ladies in the other tuk-tuk. And what we did was we switched places. I guess the first guy didn't want to go all the way over here, so the second guy did. And he just left. I haven't given him any money yet, so I'm sure that he didn't desert me. He said he was going to get something to drink, because he agreed to the waiting an hour to an hour and a half for me to play. And I guess I'm taking a bit long of a break here, but that's going to be 600, and I figure I'll give him an extra 200 like I did with the guy yesterday. But this is a lovely course. It's just not marked well. There are arrows near the basket to direct you where to go next, but then when you get where you're going, you're not really sure about it because there's no marked tee pads anywhere. So I'm just making it up as I go. Speaking of which, on to the next one. All right, I see a basket in that grove of trees over there. So I'm taking it, that's my basket. I'm gonna try to Anheuser around this time. And I'm taking this as the tee pad, but it's really like this is a vehicle path here, but this looks kind of worn in and it's kind of level. So I'm gonna try this. I think this is a job for the tumbleweed. Wow, that disc is still too new. It barely Anheusered at all before fighting out of it, and that's not what you want when you got a noodle arm like mine. All right, I see my driver chilling in the shade back there. All done. My last hole I actually birdied, but I don't think I played it correctly. And I wanted to point out that my first car ever, my friend Gary's gonna remember this one. My first car ever was a '69 Mustang. Okay,